Hey guys, it's another Saturday and I'm checking in after a week since talking with you guys. We just finished, my daughter and I finished our bulk cooking for the week. We will have, per usual, 3 different dinners we rotate through, and then we have some different types of meats we made for lunches and breakfast, along with some different steamed veggies that we can throw with that, say broccoli with eggs, that type of thing. Our dinners for this week were shepherd's pie, which is made with bison, lots of different spices, lots of veggies. I threw in some bone broth to make gravy, and then I topped it with mashed potatoes. I did use a little bit of butter, but I kept it to about a half tablespoon per person, per serving. So they still have the flavor, but it is a little bit less calories. Again, each of these dinners are roughly 500 to 550 calories. My daughter will give her leftovers to my husband, or they also eat snacks after dinner. So if I keep the portions about that size, it ends up being correct for everybody. The next dinner I made was like a creamy, excuse me, chicken basil rice soup. It's not too heavy on the rice, but it does have it. The rice adds a nice thickness. I also added a little bit of arrowroot starch in there to give it more of a creamy texture. I don't really cook with dairy very often, so the creamer I used is just the Elmhurst brand, sugar-free cashew and coconut milk. It is by far the best non-dairy milk I've ever found. It can go sweet or savory. It doesn't curdle. I mean, it can a little, so you have to watch it, but for non-dairy milks, it's pretty good. I went ahead and did a bulk batch of boneless, skinless chicken breast, seasoned with avocado oil, sea salt, pepper. I think I did paprika, turmeric, let's see, thyme, oregano. I can't remember what else. I throw a bunch of stuff, like an entire head of raw garlic, and I just mix it all up and bake it till it's fairly well done, and then slice it or shred it. So with the soup, once the rice was done, I put some peas in there. Once they were done, I added zucchini and almost an entire box of fresh basil leaves, and then the shredded chicken. So that's another dinner for 2 nights, roughly the same amount of calories. And then our last meal, this one I only made 1 meal of, because we keep having leftover meals. My husband and daughter are not eating as much as I think they will. So I kind of cut back this week to hopefully, so by next Saturday, we will have eaten everything. The last meal was chicken tacos. So I took the rest of the shredded chicken. It's about a little bit under 2 pounds. Then I mixed it with a jar of rinsed Jovial cannelli beans. I put in some bone broth, some extra spices. Let's see, there was a little bit of peppers I put in there. And I'm kind of baking that. It's cooking right now. And it'll thicken. The bone broth will evaporate some, leaving a thicker, more kind of, I don't know, sauciness to the tacos. And then we'll just serve that with probably chopped cabbage and a fresh salsa from our local health food store. And then usually what I buy is like a sprouted corn tortilla, usually 2 per person. So it's enough for about 1 meal. We'll probably eat that tomorrow after we visit some family for Easter, and we'll have that with our chocolate strawberries. So that'll be our dinner tomorrow. And I think we're gonna go to a local lake and have a little picnic there. So it'll be fun. It's easy. It's tasty. It's not super fancy, but you know, it's does the trick. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than eating out, and again, the quality you can't beat. I buy a boneless, skinless chicken breast from my local organic store, and I have tried so many brands of chicken. I used to buy chicken from online. I've done so many things. This store has the best organic chicken. especially if you get it when it hasn't been frozen. When chicken has been frozen, the texture is much more tough. So anyways, that's kind of a big picture. And then we also continue to buy the grass-fed sirloin steak from Costco. My daughter loves that, and that's really good for building up iron, especially for women as we start our menses. So I have her eat that several times a week. She loves it. My husband wants it, it's there. And then we made turkey bacon again. It's about 6 grams of protein per serving. So, you know, throw a couple pieces of that with several eggs and you've got a good healthy breakfast. So I am averaging still about 1,500 calories, which was surprising. I thought I was eating less than that. But I'm losing weight. So I know I should be more around 1,200 calories. So I don't know, I'm playing it by ear a little bit. Chocolate is still an issue, although I am finding that as I am upping my adrenal supplements, I'm craving chocolate less. So I'm upping my magnesium, I'm eating bison every day for iron, and then I am upping my adrenal supplements. It's helping. I think I'm averaging over 100 grams of protein every day. One day I got as low as like 43 grams, which is very, very low for me. But the next day I ate like 130. So at least 100 grams of protein. I've heard debate on more or less. I honestly don't know where to land. I am used to just following what my body wants. I am trying to track my calories as I am still trying to lose about 7 to 10 more pounds. But you know, I also do a little bit of intuitive eating as well. So I'm happy with the fact that I'm losing weight. I'm happy that we're pre-making these meals. It makes the week so much easier because by the time I'm done with school and my daughter's home from school and homework is done and the house has got to be picked up and we need to go exercise and or her after school activities, like by the time everything's done, I'm so exhausted that if I do not have these meals pre-made, it's a mess during the week. We're just grabbing anything and it's usually junky, and then I especially will end up feeling sick if I eat like that. So this has been a really good system. And then it's awesome. I have a gal who helps me out about 6 hours a week, 6 to 8 hours. And if I don't get a chance to do all the dishes after the cleanup, you know, I can set it aside and she can come do it. So we have a really good system that I feel like is sustainable, which is exciting. And then I know like my family is eating healthy foods, which is I'm also excited about. So food is good. One thing I did struggle with a lot is sleep. I'm either staying up way too late working on school, or I'm just restless all night long, or I'll be waking up around like either 2 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and you know, it's just sitting there not able to sleep. So a few things with that are, one, I have found in Chinese medicine, it talks about if you wake up at different times of the night, it's usually linked to a specific body organ. I don't know if that's true, but I find for myself, if I'm waking up around 4 a.m., it's usually linked to my lungs. And lo and behold, I have been struggling with lung issues this week due to fighting a cold and also just, I don't know, my lungs being weird. So I've upped treating that and I'm starting to sleep better. The other thing that I'm going to be implementing is really trying to get the morning sun. I am wearing sunscreen every day. I am not tanning. I'm not laying in the sun. The more research I do, I am leaning against that. But there is something beautiful about the sun at the same time. And in the morning, it is really good for mood. It's really good for the immune system. It does give you the vitamin D. So I am trying to do that. And honestly, on the days that I got outside twice a day for a walk, I felt so much better. It was crazy. So morning and evenings, that's kind of what I'm aiming for. Trying to get outside in the sun for at least half an hour in one of those time frames, so you're not getting, as beautiful as a tan is, it is skin damage. And I do want to preserve my skin. I am in the ballpark of trying to live as long as I can, and that means preserving what we have. So that's something. Getting the morning sun, upping magnesium is another thing. The other thing, and I'm gonna kick myself for saying this, but I am gonna challenge myself this week, is really trying to remove all caffeine, other than my teaspoon of matcha in the morning. Now, why am I keeping my teaspoon of matcha? Well, one of the challenges I'm still struggling with after Lyme, etc., is my hair and trying to get my hair to grow back. And still in the back here, it's very thin. I have some places up here it's thin. And I also wore hair extensions for probably, I don't know, 4 years. And I would do them myself with the little beads. I would probably have 60 little eye tips in my hair, and I did it all myself. It looked phenomenal, but it did mess up my hair. They say it doesn't, it does. So, and I got rid of them. I just miss, when you can put your hands in your hair and it's natural, it's you. And so I am trying to embrace that and embrace my hair on a healing journey. And how this brings us to matcha is actually anti the bad type of testosterone. So there's good testosterone, and there's, I'm forgetting the technical term for it, but there's a testosterone that will make you lose your hair. Now, when I get my blood work done, my testosterone tends to run on the higher side, especially for a female. So I am implementing spearmint tea as well. I drink about 6 cups of spearmint tea a day, and that has really helped bring my hair and my skin oil in check. It's not enough though, I'm still struggling. So I did some more research, and it said, yeah, there is a brand of matcha that's really good. So I'm taking that. And besides the fact it's so healthy for you, the caffeine in it is extremely gentle. So I'm gonna keep that to a teaspoon every day, but really try. And I do not know if I'm gonna make it through the week doing this, but we'll see, we'll try. And I wanna see if that helps my sleep. And then I'm trying to support my adrenals, because I do think they're struggling. Just given some of my hormone issues and that type of thing going on. So that's one of the big challenges I'm gonna be working on this week, is cutting the caffeine. Still tracking my bedtime, really trying to bring it up earlier. It is really challenging with school. School does not care if you've had enough sleep, doesn't care what you have on your schedule, doesn't care if you have a family, you have to get it done. So I am really juggling that. But I'm not gonna let school take my health down, because I can't. I know what it's like to have bad health. I'm not going back there. So those are 2 updates from this week. Another thing that I will want to bring you guys into is I'm starting to research different clothing brands that I like. I do tend to wear Lululemon, surprise, all the time. I have the same 5 outfits I rotate through like every single week. And it's so practical. It's like I can go from walking on my treadmill doing school to laying on the floor because I have a yoga mat out at all times, to, I can get up and do laundry. I can go do the dishes. I can get dinner going. I can, doesn't matter. They don't get dirty. They don't stain. I'm quite addicted to yoga clothes at this point. But it is boring, whatever. Sometimes on weekends I wear something else. But I love quality. I love the philosophy of, get your weight to a place that you're happy. And I'm still working on that. but get your weight to that place and get your exercise to that place, and then just buy clothes that will last for a long time that are really high quality. I personally, unfortunately, I'm so sad, I am allergic to wool or any type of animal hair. And I know there's ethical issues with using that, so I can't, even if I wanted to. I love, this is not, you know, natural material at all, but it's super practical. I love this kind of stretchy material. But then I also I love linen. I love, what else besides linen? Organic cotton. So I'm starting to experiment. I like a couple stores. Cezanne is gorgeous. I'm looking at higher quality places for undergarments. I'm really not happy with the quality of something like Victoria's Secret. And so I'm kind of experimenting with things. What I love, and I have done once or twice in the past, is buying lingerie, especially from France. You can't beat it. It's insane. Like, the stuff we have here is so junky and trashy compared to what I found overseas. Maybe sometime I'll walk you through what I bought from France. But I'm eager to see brands like that come over here that are higher quality, that are beautiful, where you can wear it and feel like a woman instead of wearing it feeling like a teenager. And it's a bit more classy as well. So that's fun that I'm kind of exploring into that. And then, but I also wanted to say, like, taking a step back and looking at the big picture, clothes are fun and they're so exciting, right? To like find your style and all this stuff. But at the same time, we're stuck in our bodies, right? You can't get out of them. And putting the money towards skincare, hair care, healthy food, and then setting aside the time for sleep and exercise that's not too intense, that's something that's sustainable. To me, that's a much higher priority than more and more and more and more clothes. And I have been the girl to go buy a lot of clothes, and I just don't wear them. You know, they sit in my closet and I'm in my yoga clothes. So I kind of went, okay, let's pull back on clothes. And I am gonna try to find other brands besides Lululemon. I love Lululemon. But I like a little bit more variety, a little bit more maybe detail in the clothing. So I'm starting to go through like exercise or fitness wear and see what I actually like. I haven't found anything I love to this point outside of Lululemon. I like a few things at Athleta, not a ton. So yeah, it's kind of the wrap on clothes and all that. One other thing to share this week that I'm noticing is if your skin is struggling, there's kind of this circle with Chinese medicine where times of the night you wake up are linked to different organs and their detox phases, and then different organs are linked to other organs. So for me, a big organ I struggle with is skin and lungs. And lo and behold, in Chinese medicine, they are connected. And then if I'm waking up at 4 a.m, that's also connected to skin and lungs. And so this week, as my lungs were struggling, my skin got a lot of rash as well. And I'm still trying to heal that up. So I'm taking better care of my lungs. I use a nebulizer as needed with some different natural substances in it to help my breathing calm down. And then whenever I struggle with lung issues, I up my, fish oil. And obviously check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. This is just what's worked for me. But since I was a young girl, when I was first diagnosed with asthma as a child, I learned when I was about 16 that if I was ever getting lung issues, I would just start taking, large doses of fish oil. and lo and behold, that would help. I still carry an inhaler with me, but I do up my fish oil and it is helping. The other thing is there's a specific brand of curcumin, which is I think it's a component of turmeric, and that is extremely anti-inflammatory as well. So that is also beneficial for the lungs. But again, check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. So that's kind of a wrap on this week. My goals next week are keep working on tracking calories, keep them, lower, trying to get closer to 1200, up my water, try to get to bed on a more reasonable, time frame, not 11:30, 12 at night, aim for 10 at night, and then really trying to remove all caffeine other than my teaspoon of matcha in the morning. And just as the last shout out to Dan Martell, I was listening to another one of his YouTubes, and he said, we have to be willing to do the same boring thing for days, for weeks, and years. And if we do that, we will get results. And so as I'm continuing to work on my own biohacking journey, it's really kind of a serious look in the mirror at, Noelle, are you willing to do this stuff that's not flashy? I'm not really going out to eat. I'm not really, buying all the fancy clothes. It's, am I going to bed on time? Am I exercising? Am I drinking water? I don't even drink alcohol. I'm actually very allergic to it. But are we really doing the best we can? If we want to have extraordinary lives, if we want to live for a long time, if we want to experience the amazing wonders the world has to offer, are we putting in the work? And whether that's it with your body, and I think it needs to start with your body. Your body is what holds your brain. Your brain is what you make decisions from. So as we take care of our bodies, we are nurturing the garden of our brain so we can make better decisions. As we make better decisions, we will have a better life, right? There is the principle of sowing and reaping here. So I think taking care of our bodies is sacred, and taking care of our minds and working on being objective, being pragmatic, all this will lead to a better future. It just comes down to, are we willing to do it every day? And through watching people like Brian Johnson, shout out to him, or other biohackers, I am more and more motivated to to put in the time and the effort and slowly start to see the improvements that come from the inside out, because that is where true happiness, true satisfaction, and true beauty lie, is as we get into alignment and our body works as it was created to work, things fall into place. So I hope you have an awesome week. I hope that together we can continue taking these steps forward and watching our bodies thrive, thanking us for the work we put in. So have an amazing week, sending you all love, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Take care.